What's going on, YouTube? This is Aaron Trevino here, back on our Texas Real Estate and Construction YouTube channel. And we are joined by a wonderful guest down here in the beautiful state of Texas. We are joined by Faren Franklin. How you doing today, Faren?
I'm doing great. How are you, Aaron?
I'm great. I'm great. I know I know it's been a minute, and I'm glad that we could connect. And our initial conversation, I thought, man, this would be such a cool topic, for the podcast. And honored to have you sitting down with us.
Well, thank you for having me. I am definitely excited to have this conversation with all of your viewers. I do believe it will be very beneficial to everyone. So, looking forward to it.
Definitely, definitely. And it's funny, we're in a very interesting time, I guess, with everything going on, the economy, the US dollar, lumber, all these different factors in the real estate business. And one thing that people are looking to do is scaling their business, right? Maybe it's a one man or one lady kind of show, right? You're looking to scale. And a lot of people are looking for those sorts of tools, being able to maybe utilize virtual assistants and really building out your team. So if you wouldn't mind, Farron, could you introduce yourself to the audience and a bit more about what you do?
Yes. So I am centrally located in Texas, near College Station, home of Texas A&M University. Woo! Go Aggies. And Austin dude on the phone. I'm just
Yeah, I know. It's funny. We were just talking about that. I said, man, I'm not supposed to like A&M, but it's a great location.
it is. So I have always been interested in real estate from a kid as far back as I can remember. But I did attend Texas A&M University and majored in business marketing specifically. And I started a career in human resources. I worked in human resources for over 10 years, actually for the Texas A&M University system, and all the while maintaining my passion for real estate. And so I hopped into it and became an investor while still working full time with, as an HR professional. And along the way, I decided to become a full time entrepreneur and start my HR company, which is MaeVen Solutions, while also dealing in real estate. So I wanted to find a way to merge the two. And what I find is most important for real estate professionals is knowing that it is much easier than you may think to scale your businesses by adding to your team, whether it be virtually or in person. And my company can help with both of those because both are my passion, HR and real estate. And so I found some very great ways to integrate the two.
Yeah, and I think that's so cool. I know we talked about it a bit before, but really from the jump, from our first initial conversation, I thought, man, this is such a neat concept here, right? You're kind of merging those two things that you're passionate about. I guess the HR side, right? The human resources, and also the real estate. And I just think that's just a really powerful tool because you're almost able to speak a language that maybe others wouldn't be able to in that particular niche.
Right. As real estate professionals or any entrepreneur in general, as we build our businesses, we are what I like to call solopreneurs, where we're doing it all by ourselves, and it's much easier than many people may think to add upon your team, specifically through the help of virtual. And people say virtual assistants, but I don't like the term virtual assistant because I like to say virtual professionals because within the pool of candidates that I recruit from, there are candidates who are highly skilled and trained and have high levels of education and experience that can, of course, support your businesses. So I feel like the word assistant kind of takes away from what the candidates are capable of. So I like to say virtual professionals.
Virtual professionals. That's a great distinction to make there. And if we could rewind a bit, I'm just curious a bit about your background as well, Farron. Could you talk a bit about maybe where you grew up, and did you growing up, did you foresee yourself in this sort of business later on?
Sure. So growing up, I grew up in actually Navasota, Texas. It's a small town that is right outside of College Station. So it's in between College Station and Houston. And so no, I did not foresee myself going into this field specifically. When I went to Texas A&M, I majored in business because I knew I wanted to be a business owner. I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I had no clue what it would mean. So I felt business was a safe, a safe route to take. And it has been a great foundation to build off of. And so going into the career of HR, I found I was passionate about that as well. But like I said, I maintained my passion for real estate. Um, and I had a great class in college that kind of sparked that interest. It was taught by a real estate professional, actually. So and later, like 10 years later, I reconnected with him, and he's been kind of a mentor to me as I go into my real estate journey. So I actually got my first investment property back in 2019. It was my grandmother's house, but I did not inherit it. I paid for it and completely renovated it, and without any experience other than HGTV. And it was definitely a learning experience. I will say I made mistakes, but they have definitely taught me a lesson. And so from that, I knew that, okay, it confirmed that this is the field I wanted to go into, all while maintaining this HR career that I have. So I also started my business, MaeVen Solutions, where we support business owners who are looking to grow their businesses by hiring virtually or in person. We specialize in recruiting. And so, like I said, I want to integrate the two. So I was trying to find a way to reach out to let real estate professionals know that there is help available. You can grow your businesses and you don't have to do it by yourself. And also with real estate, I got into short-term rentals. So I have my first unit and I'm growing and scaling that business as well. So I kind of have three separate things going on, but they're all very well integrated because um, real estate is real estate, but HR is very well connected to it because everyone needs to hire, everyone needs to grow and expand to scale their businesses. So I love that it's all working together.
Absolutely. No, and that's some great insight there. And it's it's such a neat time for this, right? We're in this new age, right? This new digital age, and we're able to do all these neat things. We have, these virtual professionals, we have Airbnb. You just go on the internet and you can find a brand new place in a new city instead of a hotel. So it's a really unique time that we're living in.
Yeah, and that's kind of what got me into short-term rentals because of course it's direct, related to real estate, but I love the creativity aspect of it and being able to take a unit, whether you do it by owning it or doing it through rental arbitrage and making it your own. You become a host and you become known for what you put out. And what you put out is up to your creativity. So you can go in and design a place to be something that's themed or something that's, has a hotel feel. But I found that it's very important that you create a consistent brand, regardless of what that is. So your guests get good experience. So short-term rentals are definitely the move because it provides so much flexibility to the guests, whether they're going for travel to get an experience or they are traveling for corporate travel, or they're coming in for an event, or if they're in between homes, they may be buying from a realtor and buying a home and moving to a new city and don't have their new home available. So short-term rentals provide solutions to a lot of problems that travelers face.
Yeah, that's definitely pretty neat too. Kind of seeing, what it can do. Having I don't know, maybe you want a vacation, you want somewhere in the center of the city. It's going to be fun. You want a short-term rental there, or maybe you're, a doctor or a nurse on an assignment near a hospital. So it can really fill a lot of gaps for people.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been fun trying to find the needs of the travelers and kind of tailor your business around what the travelers need.
Yeah, and I'm curious as well. Maybe maybe someone's looking to start out with the short-term rentals, or maybe they're already starting. It's kind of almost a catch-22, right? Do you want to be able to know exactly what your niche is, or do you just want to start Airbnbs and then find your niche later, if that kind of makes sense?
Well, for me, I found that I really just wanted to just jump right into it. Mind you, I did do tons and tons of research because that's who I am. I did tons and tons of research before actually diving into it, but I felt that it was safest for me to create for my first property just a kind. I didn't have a very themed approach. I did something that was simplistic but yet comfy and warm feeling, so that the guests could have an experience of feeling like they're at home, but also knowing that they are in a rental, that they should take care of it. And so I feel like later there may be a niche that comes about. I may venture off into themed units or luxury units or whatever, but knowing that my specific market, I knew that that type of approach would work best.
Absolutely. And I'm curious as well, Farron, it seems like, I mean, you could be in any industry in the real estate business. For you, what's special about short-term rentals in particular? Is there anything that you really like about it, or?
So I really like I said, the creativity aspect of it, because you really can make it what you want it to be. Aside from just the decor or the furnishings, you can have all these specific amenities to do whatever suits you or what you feel your guests may need. But it also opens up opportunities for other things, because my ultimate goal, I don't want to say ultimate, but one of my next goals is to have a multifamily development. And so with short-term rentals, those two integrate, because if with the multifamily unit, there are many doors available. So I feel that I would utilize a portion of them for short-term rentals and a portion for long-term rentals, and it would meet the needs of the community at large, because there are people that need permanent housing, and of course there are travelers traveling for different reasons. So that one particular location can meet the need of many.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's I mean, just given that, we're down here in Texas, there's obviously a housing shortage, people are moving here. And we're also in a very unique time as well, because, we have all this infrastructure, all these different homes, maybe post World War II, and some of them are falling apart, right? So we're needing to
Right.
build new.
Yeah. So short-term rentals is definitely a good approach for it, because even like you mentioned with older homes, they can be renovated. So you may have someone that wants to come in and do a fix and flip and use that unit where they would typically use it as a long-term rental. It could be a short-term rental. Not saying that that's the answer to everything, because I'm actually interested in all avenues of real estate. So like I said, a mixture of long-term rentals as well as short-term. But regardless of what avenue someone is taking, there is the need for support. So
Yeah.
building a team is very important.
Absolutely. And I have to ask as well, now that you mentioned that as well, kind of the rehabbing aspect. What was the funnest part about rehabbing your grandmother's home? Was there anything you really enjoyed?
I did. For one, it was sentimental, because as I went into it, there were so many memories there, because it was actually a place that I grew up. I was there all the time. But then I realized that there was a need to modernize it, because it is an older home. So I had to look at it from an approach of what would today's guest or tenant need from this place. So when I went into it, it was a 3 bedroom, 1 bath, and it had a living room, dining room, and a den area. And I remodeled it to where I opened up the living room. So I knocked out walls, and I could completely restructured it, added a bathroom, added a utility room, because just a bit to modernize it for today's needs. So just getting creative with it was very fun, and getting the overall experience, because like I said, I didn't know anything other than I needed to take it from point A to point B. So it was a very great learning experience.
That's awesome, man. And I'm sure it offers you kind of a unique perspective, maybe looking at real estate deals and also working with a lot of the people that you're working with, right? People who maybe own these short-term rentals or own these, small businesses. And, I know we talked a bit about at the beginning of the show, kind of scaling as well. Maybe you're looking to build your team. The biggest question I would have also is, could I do it better myself, right? What's the incentive to me just hiring people directly instead of having someone else do it for me?
So that we always feel like there's a possibility that we can do it best ourselves. But the key to hiring and building your team is knowing that you're not the best at what you do. We need to put ego aside. No matter how great you are, there's always someone who does it better. So I feel like anyone who is looking to hire should go in with the intention to hire people who are better and smarter than you are and know more than you do. And while, like I said, it may take some time to get used to that approach, find people that are better than you. And there may be some training involved in teaching them how you do it or what your desired result is, because having someone else do it doesn't necessarily mean that they need to do it the way you do if they can find better ways. So just knowing what your goals are and knowing what your mission is and what growth you would like to see, you can go in to hire someone who can do something even better than you can and make things much easier for you, because you can't be everywhere at all times. It's only so many hours in a day. So you definitely need support to get all the things done.
Yeah, and I love that insight there. Thank you. And it's that's a great, I guess, I don't know what you call it, maybe a student mentality, right? Kind of knowing that, maybe you should hang back and kind of observe and let someone else handle it, right? Really someone who has that sort of expertise to where you can do what you're best at, right?
Right. And it's not always about doing things that you're better at per se, but there are things that you may not enjoy doing. My recommendation to business owners who are looking to bring on team members is to evaluate the things that you're doing and the things that are things that only you can do as I will say the CEO of your business. There are certain things that only you can do, but everything else can be delegated. Um, and so you need to be clear on what you're doing and what the purpose of it is, and therefore that way you can delegate to someone else. So also backing up a bit, systems and processes are very important because you need to leave something in place that others can follow, or whether it be your first hire or your 500th hire. You need to have something in place that can be duplicated and replicated by someone else. So it may not always be the things that you're not best at, but the things that you just don't necessarily need to do.
Absolutely. And that's definitely great insight as well, because maybe you're really strong in sales, but you don't like the operational stuff, or you're very regimented and organized, but you don't like putting yourself out there to be a salesman, right? So I can kind of see either one.
Exactly. And also adding to that is just the things that you don't have time to do because I'm sure all real estate professionals are busy. They're all doing multiple things. And so we need that support because even if we're great at doing all these things, we can't do them all by ourselves.
Absolutely. And what would be, I guess, just kind of using short-term rentals here. I guess there's different, moving pieces of short-term rentals. What are maybe some benefits or tasks that these virtual professionals could perform for someone who owns short-term rentals?
So starting at the beginning, if you're looking for properties to acquire, whether it be to buy or do the business rental arbitrage model, you can have your virtual professionals looking for properties for you to do that. If you have a good technique in place to obtain these properties by speaking with the owners or the management or whoever, you can have your virtual professionals do that as well. But then the next part of it, once you secure your unit, is the setup. And so you'll need to buy different things. And most people, let's be real, we don't go into the stores now. We do a lot of shopping online, Amazon, Wayfair, those are the big places for short-term rentals. Since that can be done online, your virtual professional can handle that for you because in most cases, it's great to already have a buying list in place to know what you need. So you can set a budget and have your virtual professional go in and buy all the things you need to get your property set up, even have it delivered to the property to be ready for setup. Once you get into the actual operations of your short-term rental, you can have your virtual professional listed, updated, communicate with guests, manage any of your check-ins, manage your cleaners, manage your maintenance, and pretty much the entire operations can be done remotely because we see so many short-term rental owners handling their business remotely. So anything, especially that can be done remotely, can be handled by a virtual professional.
Yeah, no, and that's some great insight as well. Really that last part, anything that can be done remotely can be done by virtual professionals. So I think that's a very interesting distinction to make that maybe a lot of people don't think about.
Mm-hmm. Very important. And when I say building a team, I don't want to just harp on the virtual professional side of it because there are some things that you need in-person support with. So like your actual cleaning team and your maintenance team, those are positions that need to be filled as well. So because as you're the short-term rental owner, you don't want to have to be running around doing all this stuff on your own. So you need that support in place as well. But of course, your virtual professionals can handle anything that can be done remotely.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was probably my next question as well. Maybe having a cleaning team, right? So, I'm down here in Houston. Maybe there, are Airbnbs that I have in a particular part of Houston. I want to obviously have someone that has a cleaning service that specializes in that area. Would this sort of service be able to help with that, or?
Yes. So for me, with my first unit, I knew that the cleaning aspect of it is very much essential. So I actually partnered with a friend who owns a cleaning business. So she has an entire department dedicated to short-term rentals because they do need to be cleaned differently than a typical residential commercial clean, because you're cleaning it with the turnover in mind and preparing it for your next guest. And so with that comes a system. You have a checklist of everything that needs to be done in your turnovers. So once you have your first cleaning team in place, you can definitely create those systems to be duplicated wherever you go. So if you expand your properties or expand to a different city, you can just hire someone that can come in and do those same things.
Absolutely. And that's really interesting. I never thought about that as well. So maybe, you have a commercial building that would be cleaned differently than a short-term rental because of the turnover. That's a great point. I never thought about that.
Yeah. So it's some training that has, so with any level of hiring or getting support, there is some training that needs to go into place to just get your desired results. But um definitely want to have a cleaning team that knows about turning over for the hospitality aspect of it.
Absolutely. And that's such great insight as well. And I guess for you, do you work mostly I know that you're between College Station and Houston. Do you work mostly in the Houston area or across Texas or across the country, or are there any particular markets you're looking at, or?
So to me, it made sense to do what was closest just for proximity and being able to physically get where I need to go and build that initial team. So I did decide to go closer to home, but my goal is to expand not only across the state of Texas and nationwide, but internationally. Because like I said, once you have a system in place and you have your foundational team, you create your systems that can be duplicated anywhere, because there are lots of short-term rental owners who do things remotely. And so it just goes to prove that it can be done anywhere in the world. So expansion is definitely the goal.
Yeah, and I think that's so cool. I know we kind of touched on it earlier, but also kind of that technology aspect, right? So, I mean, I don't know, even a place like, Tulum or Cancun or something like that, maybe people from Texas or other parts of the country go down there and they live in the wintertime, right?
Yes, I have shared this with my team because my team actually resides in the Philippines, and I plan to get some short-term rental properties there. And so, knowing them, I have some, physical contact in the areas, and so it's you do need the physical support. But like I said, most of it can be done remotely, so the possibilities are endless.
Yeah. Oh man, that is too cool. The few friends I have that have been to the Philippines, they have nothing but great things to say. They say, clear blue water, it's beautiful, the nature, and there's a lot of cool stuff to do.
Volcanoes, mountains, beaches. Is the views are spectacular. So I cannot wait.
Oh wow, I didn't know about the volcanoes. That's awesome.
At volcanoes.
Okay. All right. Now you're making me add this to my bucket list. So
It's a must.
absolutely fair. Well, I'm curious, I know we talked a bit about your background, your business, really what you do, a lot of, really neat services you offer. What about you? What's next for you? Maybe someone's listening, they're wanting to connect with you. How can our audience, help or connect with you?
So, as I mentioned, because I am a real estate professional, I definitely want to cater to other real estate professionals. So, we've been talking about short-term rentals and the support that can be lended to them, whether it is virtual or in person. But I don't want to exclude any real estate professional. So whether you are a realtor, agent, a developer, or whatever, everyone needs support. So I have I'm in the stages of developing exclusive services for real estate professionals to recruit for them, whether it be virtual or in person. Um, Also on the real estate side, my next goals are, like I said, to develop a multifamily development in my community, because there's a need for it. As you mentioned, there's a housing shortage, and people need places to stay. So I feel like that will give back to the community by creating not only housing opportunities, whether it be short term or long term, but also jobs. Because everyone, with the economy, everyone needs jobs, and so by creating these different housing opportunities, there also comes the opportunities for jobs for the people in the community.
That's too cool. And I think a big message there is also, not only filling your cup, but also filling someone else's too. So kind of obviously being able to help yourself, but also improving the community, in general. I think that's so cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited about it, and I have a team in the works, and that includes virtual in person people to get the ball rolling on those developments.
Hey, I love to hear it, Faren. Well, is there anything you haven't said thus far you'd really just like to hit home for our audience?
I just want solopreneurs, as I mentioned, entrepreneurs who are working by yourselves. We have to be realistic and realize that there is a certain cap that we reach when we're doing it by ourselves. And I think everyone's goals is not to get into real estate as a side hustle. You want to make money from it. And what you do with your money is your business, but the goal for everyone is to make money. So there is support needed. So I want to make sure everyone knows that whether you use my company or someone else's, that support is essential. And but if you do choose to use my company, we can definitely help you get your hires in place, whether you want to do that virtually or in person.
Okay, awesome, man. You obviously listed a lot of real cool reasons to work with y'all. Maybe we're down here in the Houston area, we're in another part of Texas or another part of the country, and we're looking to connect with you. Faren, where can we find you?
So our website is www.maevensolutions.com. And that's MaeVen Solutions. We're also on Facebook and LinkedIn as MaeVen Solutions. And you can follow us on Instagram at MaeVen Solutions _. Don't leave out the underscore.
Don't leave out the underscore, y'all. Remember that. All right, very good, Faren. Well, it's been great, talking a bit about your background, getting into the business. Obviously, you're a proud Texas Aggie, much like a lot of this part of the state. I'll forgive you for it. It's okay. No, but it's been great, kind of hearing about your business, what you do, services you offer, and of course, looking forward to what you see and what you do in the future on the multifamily side, and to see your business grow. So thank you for coming on the show tonight.
Well, thank you very much for having me. And there is a link in one of those different options I gave everyone to connect with me, to have a discovery call with me. If you are ready to grow and expand your businesses, we are definitely here to help. MaeVen Solutions is the solutions to all your hiring needs. And so I am very much interactive in my business. So you can have a direct call with me to discuss how we may be able to support you.
All right, very good, y'all. Well, we will have Faren's contact information in the show notes. So when you want to connect with her, definitely give it a click there and give her a call. So that's it for today's episode, y'all. Signing off from the beautiful state of Texas, and we will talk to y'all later.
Thank you.